everybody. I'm Andy Lightbody from Rocky Mountain Television, high in the mountains of Colorado. But today we're down in Texas in the Oklahoma area with really what many consider to be a legendary catfisherman, Mr. Danny King. Danny, thanks for taking the time.
Folks, this is a 7'6" Kelvar pole made by Eagle Claw. This is a heavy action. You know, Kelvar is what they make bulletproof vests out of. And they give me this pole. I needed about a ½ a foot longer than my pole, and they give it to me to try it. And if you'll notice, it's a little, action is a little heavier back in your backbone in here. And this is for hauling fish out of brush and stuff like that, a big fish that's down in the brush. And I've tried it a couple of times on Channel Cat, and I was real impressed with it. It's got a solid cork handle, which I like. Most poles are made out of imitation. This is real cork. This is an Ambassador trophy reel. I love it. It's got one big handle on it. I don't have, my fingers don't fumble when I grab it. It has my bait clicker and all that set on it, which you'll get to see we need. I use Suffolk's 20-pound test line. I don't use any bigger line. I use Suffolk's braided ones, and I like it. But if you notice, this line is a yellow or orange looking. This is so that I can see it better. I can see that line. You know, I've done a 3.5-year research myself on clear line, green line, yellow, red, and fluorescent green. And me and Larry had experimented. He used one color and I used the other. It doesn't make any difference on fish biting. The color of these lines does not make the fish not bite. It does not make them bite, but it does make them where you can see that line. And when you get past the age of 50, you'll understand. This is a 1 laser sharp Eagle Claw hook, short shank. You say, what do you mean short shank? If you notice, this shank is shorter than normal. This shank should be out about right here. Well, this is a short shank, and the reason I'm using a short shank is because when that fish reaches up there and bites it, he's automatically hooks himself just about. Now, getting it out of his mouth is going to be a lot more trouble. But I don't care. I'm looking. One of the main priorities on that, folks, is your bait clicker. Your bait clicker, like this rod's laying here, that big fish hits it, takes off. He can burn all the line off of it he wants without dragging it in. And that's, you know, that's, a lot of people say I can throw further with them and better with them. Well, yeah, you can some, but you know, I've used a Zepco 888, and if you'll notice, if I get it out, when I'm carp fishing, I will use a Zepco 888 because I can throw it more accurate and then hitting tight spots where you can't with a level line. To catfish, you really need to learn how to use a level line just for the purpose of that bait clicker. If you have never had a pole drug in, start fishing with blues and you'll get one right quick. This is what happens, folks, when you jerk one of these reels and you don't turn it far enough to get the bait clicker. And it's not nothing uncommon, and it's nothing to be ashamed of, but in this case, this is a cat and she's catching it from all of us. Folks, when you're looking for a rod, we're using a Danny King signature rod. I designed this rod myself because most 7-foot rods has 4 or 5 eyes on it. If you notice, this has 8 eyes on them. The last 4 eyes got glow inserts as well as about a foot of glow tip for night fishing. These glow inserts at night, when the light hits them, they glow up and you're supposed to be able to see them a lot better than a normal tip. You got to find a rod that's got good backbone in it, and your backbone is down in here. It's not down here or right up here. It's right in this general area here. And that's so when the fish bows it over, you got plenty of give, and it's working that fish to death. He can't whoop it if you'll just let him work the pole. All these eyes are double threaded and double booted so they won't come off. I mean, I've got it fixed where a poor man can afford them. They'll last a long time. I use a 7-foot rod. You'll see people around banks using 12 and 14-foot rods. And if they're using a level wind reel, and if they're using a 3-ounce weight, I can take this 7-foot rod and put a 2-ounce on it, throw it just as far as they can. It's just a most economical rod on the market. I've got people using them for bass fishing. I've got people using them for striper fishing, and it sells for about 40 bucks. And you can go to www.DannyKingBait.com. We got them on the web page. I designed it for the poor man. That's something that'll stay under him from now on. I use them myself in all the tournaments and everything. If you notice, I've got a 1.5 ounce weight. I've got my old cigarette filter trick where I half-inched it on there. I've got 16, 18 inches, plenty of lead line. And the reason I have that plenty of lead line, I want that big fish to swallow it. And he may swallow that much of it before he moves. Now, you know, if you got your lead tied down here and this is cold, then they come up and try to swallow it and their lip touches that lead, it's like laying an ice cube to your lead. Lips, he spits it out and then he's gone. Now this way, he gets on it and wants to take his time about swallowing it up here, I'll let him do it. Most big fish is never known they're there because somebody ties his lead too close. Now there is a time to tie your lead close at a certain time of year, but that's a different story. We'll go into it some other time. We're going to be using Danny King's punch bait. Now folks, I'll use anything, but I'm telling you, I'm one of these old boys from the old school. You got to show me before you make me believe it.
Well, on that happy note, if people would like where to find that punch bait, we can tell them it's at various outlets, different bait stores and marinas, Walmart.
Gander Mountains, Walmart, Bass Pro. I don't know where all they're putting it now. Nearly any mom and pop bait shop's got it. If you can't find it and you want to get Danny King's products or stuff, just go to www.DannyKingBait.com on the web page and pull it up. We'll be more than happy to talk to you or help you any way we can.